I guess this was bound to happen. Yeah, I made notes. I swore I will not write notes for the project MCU, but I did for this one. Because, one, this is very flatline of a tone movie. Two, it's filled with stuff which I should remember to bring to you. And the third, this is a political movie. We cannot circumvent that. And when it comes to that, I better stick to the script. So, starting with Rob Lowe, who is a random terrorist, so forgettable and weightless, I had to write a note on it as the opening action scene. I'm bored already for the movie. The problem with the Avengers is, talking about the grand picture, they are Americans who are going and doing big explosions internationally. You know, like the USA does. I don't care when they flatten New York, because for this aspect, that's the USA. New York is the USA, who the Avengers are the USA, so if they flatten the USA, that's their business. But if you go and bomb Lebanon, Syria, Iraq, Iran, Venezuela, Cuba, Gaza, Vietnam, Korea, and nothing and anything that is not the USA, we have problems. By the way, stupid Captain America's excuse, "We just wanted to make the world safer," is the tagline of the USA's war on terror. And we all know that's a scam. Human rights and international law violations. A fake excuse to justify the terror of the USA. A power-based order where might makes right. You know, like in the Bible. Christian nation. Inevitable conclusion of stuff. This is and that's exactly why the USA is in trouble right now in the real world, because they are violating the United Nations international laws for the general government side of the Sokovia Accord. This is again not a compromise, I mean the Sokovia Accord, but an already decided power-based terror bill, like the current Gaza reconstruction plan, which reconstructs nothing. It makes USA senators and Israeli terrorist government people play golf on occupied territories. And this Gaza reconstruction plan gives illegally occupied territories to Israel in 3 days. 3 days is not enough to even just reading through the documents, not to mention making your own additions to it, and do negotiations, compromise. I'm not joking. The USA literally gave in this reconstruction plan, which got blocked by Turkey, I think, because they sent it to, I don't know, one of the subdivisions which have to make an informed decision about it, tell an opinion, and that takes at least like 2 weeks, and that's why people have time to get information about this hack. this Sokovia card is a dictatum, and you know it. So he's right here in Civil War. Nobody. By the way, why this is called Captain America Civil War, when it is definitely an Avengers movie? And who the fuck is Zemo? The MCU is seriously relying on homework from the comics. Spoiler, actually they don't. In the comics he was like some Nazi, maybe member, maybe just marginally part of Hydra, but here he is just some Sokovian random person. He doesn't even have his comic book mask. It was a purple mask with stripes, vertical stripes, and a golden tiara that did something like Magneto's helmet or Bioton the Rivers. I think it was controlling people, maybe. Long time not read those comics. Though I think those who make the MCU franchise read nothing but the Avengers. In other way, as I said, I know Zemo is a big deal in the comics, but here he is just thrown in and killed without a second thought. The bare minimum had to be to introduce him in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. You know, where Hydra is still active. I heard they will close down that part of the MCU in season 3, so we will definitely watch that. But according to what I read, articles and Reddit, from starting with season 4, it's deviating from the MCU, so we won't care about that. I still put them on the chart, but with the what if mark, aka alternative timeline, so a big red cross on it. The next watch will be Black Panther. A couple of projects, MCU projects, suddenly became also connected, important, like Spider-Man Homecoming, or what was that? S.H.I.E.L.D. Season 3, Hawkeyes, which supposedly plays out after Endgame, but why wait that much? Maybe it will turn out we should have waited, then I will just push it forward. I think it is only 8 episodes, and it very much feels like the continuation of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. It's just whatever. The MCU no longer cares about it. So it seems like a paycheck for the actor of Hawkeye. And the saddest thing is, I didn't hear his daughter, who was supposed to take over the role of Hawkeye, is nowhere in any future project. What happened with coordinating that? Again, it's so sad to see. Okay, it's just a paycheck for whoever the actor is for Hawkeye, but they supposedly built up a replacement, so she should have her own season. Just write out the original Hawkeye and send her into some missions. And that's my problem with the Battlesuit guy, War Machine. Yeah, why doesn't he have his own series? If he would get, I don't know, a 12 section animated webisode series, I would be happy for that. That's a character that just exists on paper, but doesn't really mean anything, do anything. He occasionally pop in, but why do you spend your money on him? Back to the script. Black Panther. Yeah, that's one other thing we should watch as soon as possible. And the rest, you know what I'm missing? Start to miss Thor. What's up with Thor? Was he in Civil? He wasn't in Civil War, but he was in Ultron. I have to make notes of this later. Come to think of it, the Wakandas are presented here the first time. I mean, they were mentioned in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. pretty much the same way this installment presents them, and they are presented as assholes. Pretty much like the Inhumans, some isolated people living in isolation since forever because they had some superior abilities or technologies. The Inhumans had abilities, the Wakanda had technology, this resource, this vibranium, adamantium thingy. Adamantium is not mentioned yet, so vibranium. But, you know, that's the problem with we are a global world. I mean, with that, I mean, not some political integration or anything, but there is no free space to move if you don't like the system. Any of the system. If you just want to get out from all of it, you can't have it. Literally, there is no more space to fill in right now. Sure, we could build a rocket, but where would it go? And Mars is like almost the same as the moon. Its gravity is better, but it has no atmosphere. And more importantly, although it is more technical, no magnetic field. And without magnetic field, the sun would kill you in hours. So yeah, there is that problem. So fuck Elon Musk either way. He spent all your money already, so whatever. So now that we globally leave our planet, you cannot be an isolationist, because if you are, you will fall behind, inevitably. So all this nationalist bullshit that right-wing parties, groups are pushing is not sustainable. It died in the Second World War. That was the peak of nationalism. It means war, it means territorial demands, it means death, it means annihilation. It is not sustainable because you have to live with the others, because there is no more earth to go, no more space to live in. So if you want to be a nationalist, you are a globalist, because you have to aim to kill everybody else. And with these mini countries like Wakanda, the Inhumans, or whatever, that won't work just by the sheer numbers. And why do Wakanda worship ancient Egyptians? It just makes zero sense. And it feels like a nitpick, but how is Bucky, the Winter Soldier, running down cars? I mean, he is literally faster on foot than cars, while he only has a cybernetic arm. He doesn't have cybernetic legs. Talking about nitpick, also, Captain America's shield is not government property. Stark stole the vibranium from Wakanda, and his company forged it. Not for some government order, but because that's their product. It was their company's prototype. And until they actually get some government order to deliver whatever, it is the final product, that is just developing their intellectual property. So, no, it's not government property, it's Stark industry property, if we are getting legislative. And while I really did not want to talk about motivations, as Tony Stark's character is flip-flopping hard between movies, like it would be able to propel a power plant, did Captain America really just complain about for defeating the Nazis? Because he did! Who wrote this shit? This is literally complaining about the Nazis doing what Putin's Russia doing right now. It's just nonsense. It's ludicrous. He says they are discussing with something with Stark, maybe, probably, and they say, oh, and we developed it for defend the country or the world in World War II. And Captain America literally says, like, yeah, and to push the country into war. Fuck you, dude! You were already in World War. Because the Nazis considered the whole of Earth as their Lebensraum. Their living, God promised living space. What are you talking about, you idiot? You were already attacked by the Nazis anyway at that point. I mean, whatever axis of evil. Japan. Remember? Japan was in alliance with the Nazis. For fuck's sake, I'm a Captain America. You are not just a moron, but you are also rewriting history revisionist. And it's not like people who question the Holocaust, for I would really like to see some physical evidence, and as they complain, most of them at least, those who go as so far as stating stating things the other way are really, they go as far as Captain America. But those who question, I can agree with. Now, getting over that, let me thank Disney for making action scenes and action movies boring. It's all over, just an overlong CGI fest. There is no storytelling in the action scenes. They have no weight on the story. There are no stakes even, because it's all CGI, so anything can be done on the film. We don't have stunts. I want to see actual stunts. Well-trained people risking injury, but Obviously, not taking that big of a risk. That's why they are properly trained people to be able to pull out the stunts without risking death, only maybe injury. Now it's just pure spectacles, the actions in the movies. And pure spectacle is boring. It's a painting on the wall. It's just there, a static thing. I don't care that action movie by its name, it's action, so it's moving. So what? But the worst thing is, this comic book event worked because it was slow-paced. I mean originally, in the comics. I bet it ran through multiple magazines, mostly filled with hiding and discussing ideologies. You can't just make such story into an action movie. And you know what bothers me to no end? Neither side is offering any compromise. You know, Captain America brings up a good point. What if whoever is supervising them, trying to send them on a mission that does not fit to their ethics? Then they should be able to say no. But does the movie build anything on it? No. And ultimately, the side who does not sign the contract is, within the movie, justified to be true just because they are true. And this is nice. But otherwise, as told at the very beginning, these are Americans shooting people in other countries. If you stay in America, I mean the USA, United States of America, then I don't give a fuck what you are doing. But as soon as you step out of the border, you are responsible. Some way. And who are they fighting against? What's this Zemo is about? For almost the entirety, until the final twist of the movie, Zemo is presented as, let's face it, just another terrorist organization. Pretty much nothing we don't have already. So what's one more on the palette? They really wouldn't change anything along the Ten Rings, Hydra, Inhuman, Loki, Cybertex, AIM, Rogue Shield divisions who consider themselves the Shield, and like real-life terrorist organization, real-life spy organization. What's one more group? There was a chance for compromise though in the movie. Even after shouting at each other and, after we had some time to think about the situation and we meet again. I mean, the parties in the movie meet again. As said by Tony Stark, of course he's the face of one of the groups of the Avengers, because this is an Avengers movie. I got 36 hours to bring you in, and 24 already passed. Great. That means you still have 12 hours to check out your friend and co-worker and trusted allies' claims So why fight? This is literally the situation what happened in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., where it shouldn't have happened that way. That, hi, I'm this section of the organization. Hi, I'm that section of the organization. Peace? Peace. You have 12 hours. Go and check it out. But no! Fuck the United Nations! Fuck the world! Make the USA a powermonger despotic terrorist state instead! Yeah, pretty much where we are right now in the real world. Considering what Israel does, what the USA does. A technical question. Why the Iron Man suit has no emergency power supply? We say that it would be required. It would be a very good idea, because you have a big shoot here, big boss sign on you. Why don't you have a... If that gets destroyed, what then? You fall into your death because you fly around constantly. And as we are at it, you know why Ant-Man delete or copy would not work in the Ant-Man movie? Because safety copies, by default, that is in the manual, should not be in the same building, not even in the same complex. So even if everything goes sideways and the whole facility blows up, you should still have the data, because that means backup copy. I know pretty much nobody does that, but that's how it's supposed to be. Even if it's just on the other side of the road, the safety box or whatever, but it should not even be in the same building. But I know usually it is in the same server room, because everybody is cheapskate. No one cares about why these protocols exist. Don't understand what backup copy is supposed to be. This is also why the whole Ultron plot has no place in the world with the internet. If there is internet, you can destroy all bodies of Ultron, although the robot really should have hidden one inaccessible remote location, just to be sure. And you can cut its access to the internet. Sure, why not? What really worked as a plot point in the pre-internet world, where it was just the electric system, and you know, if you cut it, well, it doesn't exist because it's not data, it's just energy, so it was okay. But with the internet, if it reaches the internet, it becomes the net. It just makes a copy of it and splits its parts on the net and works as a semi-entity, just like what Jarvis did. And don't even start me with the new AI of Tony Stark. That's a fucking offensive. It is called Friday. You know, the slave of Robinson Crusoe. For fuck you. And you even made it woman? So women are inferior, just slaves to the man. What the fuck? No wonder, despite anything they built up in, whenever Iron Man had a role in until now, despite all that, Potts is now broke up with Tony Stark. Because fuck you, dude. So, and what this movie achieves? There are no longer Avengers. I mean, maybe there are 2 members officially, Tony Stark and Vision, and all the others are fugitive vigilantes. Pretty much. I'm sorry to bring it up, but they are American, and I bet they will cross borders without passport, without authorization, carrying around weapons, not telling anyone why they are going wherever they are going. And seriously, what you consider a terrorist group, others, not necessarily. It's pretty much, I have to talk about the politics, because in Gaza, Hamas is considered a terrorist by the United States and its the closest allies, Germany, the UK, and Hungary, because I don't mention Hungary. But the rest of the world, literally the rest of the entire world, see them as freedom fighters. Also in Lebanon, there was the other organization starting with H. Again, the USA considers them terrorists, everybody else. And at that time, maybe not even Germany and the UK considers themselves, those people, freedom fighters. Venezuela, definitely. Trump said they are terrorists, but even the United Kingdom, Great Britain, declared that not even we want to do anything with that. We don't give you data, we don't give you any kind of support. We don't want any part of that. And when, I don't know what you have in mind, Mexico, who the fuck knows? Dude, this is the age of the internet. You cannot hide anything. Especially not on the government level. And that is, by the way, why the Epstein files will never get out. You know what are the 5 most mentioned names? The first 4, maybe. The first is Trump, surprisingly, because this is supposed to be the Epstein files. I don't know why they pronounce it Epstein when it's E-Y, what is supposed to pronounce E, not I. I mean, supposed to be pronounced I, not E. Whatever. Of course, Epstein is the second one. And the third and fourth is Obama and Clinton. That means the Democratic Party, which has Genocide Joe, who was willing to lose the election for Trump just to make Israel capable committing a Holocaust, a literal Holocaust, are also pedophiles. Clinton and Obama are pedophiles, according to the Epstein files.